Get on your feet, give God the praise. Hey. Woo. I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do, 'cause I need you more and more. I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. Listen, thank you. Worth the chase, right? Worth the chase. Our God he's good, he's great. And once you get to him, because you will, he will allow you to receive him in his presence. You have to welcome his presence. Do not just be fearful of what he's going to do, the blessings that he would give to you. So we welcome you, Lord, into our presence. Jesus. There's nothing worth more that could ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. Yeah, I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of love, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Yeah. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what my heart longs for, to be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. There's nothing worth more that could ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. Oh, I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of love, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Sing, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your presence. Sing, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your blessing. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your presence, Lord. Yes, sing your presence, your presence, Lord. Sing your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Yeah.
Hey there and welcome. I'm Raymond Woods, here to give you the rundown on the latest happenings at Light of the World. It's been over a year since we've seen each other in person, and we can't wait to see your faces again. We've been diligently working behind the scenes to prepare for reopening the building, but we need your help. As many of you know, we've grown over the past year since being on lockdown, and it's a good kind of quarantine pounds. But more people means more work. We're looking for additional volunteers to jump on board in the areas of First Touch, parking, media, and children's ministry. Do us a favor, go to the app or the website under Next Steps and click the Serve link to fill out our volunteer form. Somebody is in need of your gift. COVID-19 and living life virtually has certainly presented challenges and obstacles, especially for our students. We want to provide a safe outlet for our college students as they navigate a crucial stage of life during unprecedented times. That being said, we're inviting all college students to join us online Wednesday evenings for our new University Small Group.
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought we was finished. Hey, God bless you. Hey, I'm interrupting your regularly scheduled program and just to simply drop in and let you know, hey, our church is turning 15 years old. Notice the purposeful inflection and the clap. Hey, it's our birthday coming up in April. I am bad at celebrating things. So I said this is a milestone for our church. This is year 15. We said we wanted to make sure that we at least celebrate. I know we're not in person yet, but we wanted to make sure we recognize some stuff. We'll celebrate in person later on in the year, but at the same time, we got some stuff planned coming up. The week after Easter. Easter is the Super Bowl. Y'all know what time it is. So we're going to be online. We're going to go hard. But then the week following that, we're going to just simply roll that momentum straight into church anniversary. We got some stuff on deck. I want you to make sure you are a part of it. Whether you've been a part of our church for 6 months or whether you've been for 6 years, hey, we want you to celebrate with us. We are full of memories and history. We've been blowing up the spot for a while now. So we figured it's about time we let the world know literally our journey, let them know some of the story, background. So we'll be tossing all kinds of stuff at you coming into next month. So once again, I want you to make sure you set your calendar. We got first Sunday in April is Resurrection Sunday. The next Sunday, I think it's April 11th, we're going to be celebrating the church anniversary. It's 15 years. Hey, we can almost drive. We getting our temps this year. We're going to ball out. Hey, beloved, here's what I want you to do. Because this is the anniversary, because it's the big one, because it's the year 15, we want you to help celebrate by pushing the giving. Hey, I want you to get something with 15 in your hand. So whether you give $15, $150, $1,500, Hey, my big baller shot callers, if you get $15,000, we simply want you to pray about it. There's nothing mandatory. We love you unconditionally, regardless of what you do. Hey, but at the same time, we want you to help us continue to do what we do best. This is help us fulfill the vision. You know, we're doing 5 guides this year. We're making sure we're doing assimilation. We're bringing people on staff, big outreach, figuring out this whole building thing. So, hey, beloved, help us do what we do best. Help us to bloom what we're planting, to continue to turn our city out. I want us to go hard this year. So make sure you join us, jump online, tag a friend, tag a neighbor, tag an ex, an enemy, somebody you don't like. You're like, this is where you need to be at. And if you would have been here when you should have been here, maybe we wouldn't have fell out. So we want you to make sure you rock with us as we continue to celebrate, get ready to celebrate this 15 years. Hey, beloved, I love you. I can't wait till we see you in person. Now, let me send you back to your regular scheduled programming.
We don't want you to forget to spice up your Sundays with our Seasoning with the Saints small group. It's the perfect opportunity to fellowship with like-minded foodies every first Sunday of the month. Easter Sunday will be the only exception. So if you're looking to expand your culinary bag or bless others with your favorite recipes, join us online. Sign up for both small groups can be found on our app or via the website under the Next Steps tab. You don't want to miss what we got planned for 2021, and there's plenty in store. Pastor Mike will continue to help us navigate our focus areas for the year, the 5 guides. As a reminder, the 5 guides would include assimilation, leadership, location, outreach, and small groups. Continue to stay up to date with our Light of the World Church app, available for download on Apple, Google Play, or Amazon. Thanks for watching, and we're glad you're here.
What's up, Light of the World family? Hey, we're so excited to see you once again. I'm grateful to God for you to be a part of this service. Hey, it's about to jump off today. I'm thankful for you. Hey, whatever place you're coming from California to Florida to New York, all the way in Cincinnati. Where my Cincinnati people at? Rep your hood at. I'm excited to see you once again. We're thankful to God for you. Do me a favor, grab your Bibles, get your iPads, your iPhones, whatever it means you got your word. We got a lot of ground to cover, and I got a little bit of time to do it. Let's get ready to go to work this morning. Hey, beloved, I'm jumping to John 9. John 9. I'm excited about this passage as we've been in this series. John 9 is a trip, I promise you. John 9, verse 6, it says this. He says, then he spit on the ground, made mud with the saliva, and spread the mud over the blind man's eyes. He told him, go wash yourself in the pool of Siloam. Siloam means sent. So the man went and washed and came back seeing. Hey, beloved, we have been in the midst of this series called Savage. Type Savage right there in the comments right there. We've been in the midst of this series called Savage over this past month. We're getting close to Resurrection Sunday. We're right on the cusp of it. So we're thankful to God. We've been in this particular series. And so this month I said I wanted to take time out to talk about Jesus. I don't know if there's no better other time than this to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the ministry, the miracles, to just kind of deal with this idea of Christology. And so here's what I love about Jesus. Jesus is so cold-blooded. Catch this. He's the only one in the Bible that you can just call him and everybody knows who you're talking about. Okay, what do you mean, Pastor Mike? Now unto him who was able to keep you from falling. That now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. Watch this. It is for in him that we live, move, and have our being. And so we've been dealing with this idea of understanding more about Christ. Pastor Mike, why teach in this area of Christology? Because at the end of the day, I believe that there are 2 types of people that are joining us today. Number 1, you have those who know him. And then number 2, people who think they know him. And so now, with that being said, I believe it is possible to know him and still be far away from him. Okay, because here we go. Because my goal with this series is to deal with how savage Jesus really was. When you understand how Jesus approached his situation, when he talked about how he talked to people, most people don't realize how unpopular Jesus really was with the same people that lift his name up today. Okay, Pastor Mike, let's go here because watch this. People love Dr. King now. But when you talk about in the 60s, he was one of the most hated people in America based on his talk, how he operated, how he really flowed in public. And so now up to this point, we've been taking a look at things that Jesus said. Today, I want to turn a corner a little bit and look at something that Jesus did. Okay, come here. Let's set the context and let the beat build for a second because watch this. John 9, Jesus encounters a man who was born blind and his disciples pose a question. They say, why was this man born blind? Jesus is shooting his regular. He's on his way somewhere else. They run across a blind man and they ask, hey, J-Rock, why was this man born blind? Notice the line of questioning. How did he get like this? Any set of parents that have ever been driving, getting off at the on-ramp and see somebody begging for money at the on-ramp, their kids looking out the window trying to figure out how did they get like this? What caused them to be in that position? Why is it that they're homeless? Why is it that they're begging for money? What caused them to be in this position? And the belief was, catch this, the belief was that simply if something was wrong with you, it stemmed from something that you did wrong or that your parents did. Okay, walk with me on this because the consequences of the actions of one generation affect future generations. Okay. There's a handful of people that can understand the fact that you wish that you would have had a head start in life based off of where your parents were financially. But truth be told, where you started in life was based on where your parents left off. And so now you didn't have a college fund. You didn't have a trust fund. You didn't have money set aside because your parents didn't balance right. They were struggling to get things together. And so thus, you are now dealing with the consequences of the actions because they mismanaged stuff. And so now it's a trickle-down effect that you live where you lived growing up because of their actions. It wasn't any fault of your own, but it was a consequence of their actions. Let me give you some Bible on it. Exodus 34 verse 7 says, I lay the sins of the parents upon their children and grandchildren. The entire family is affected, even children, catch this, in the third and fourth generation. Oh, this is big. Deuteronomy 5:9 says, for you must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. He says, catch this, here it goes again. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the third and fourth generations of those who reject me. Here's this big idea. The people falsely assumed his blindness was the result of sin, but catch this, not everybody is born blind. Okay, let's take this somewhere because while some people were born blind, some experienced some type of injury along the way that caused their blindness. Okay, where are my real people at? Because pain has a way of taking your vision from you. Yeah, get a divorce and see if you won't stumble around for a little bit. That you deal with the loss of a loved one. It causes you to lose your focus. Just recently, I had to bury somebody's baby. Now they're trying to get their focus. The family's trying to get their focus back in because pain has a way of shifting your sight. It shifts where you are and what you're thinking. Pain, watch this, has a way of calling your attention. Pain simply goes up and says, stop whatever you're doing and focus on me right now. You stub your toe at the end of your bed tonight and see if you won't focus on that area for a second. Pain has a way of shifting some stuff. Here's the big piece I want to get you to is simply this. Life is traumatic. Yeah, live long enough and something debilitating will happen to you. You'll take a hit it takes a while to recover from, a gut punch that it takes you a second to bounce back from. Life has a way of being a trip. And so it's amazing for years, the church has been illustrated as being a hospital for the sick. My problem, because even I've used the same illustration, but however, with that imagery, catch it, you leave everyone in the same waiting room. Okay, come here, roll with me on this, because real hospitals have different units. You have the ER room, you have intensive care unit, you have the trauma unit, you have rehabilitation. My thing is, I need you to check me into some place that can handle my pain. Because not everybody's pain is equal and not everybody's pain is the same. I need you to put me somewhere where you can handle me appropriately, because now if I'm dealing with the idea that I'm missing a parent and I'm lashing out because my daddy wasn't there, if I'm dealing with the idea that I'm being bullied coming up, dealing with the idea somebody came in my room and touched me that shouldn't have touched me, I'm dealing with different types of pain. Don't just leave me in the waiting room. I need you to put me somewhere that can deal with me according to the level of issues that I'm wrestling with. Here's the big piece. Rather than ask what is wrong, we need to ask what happened. I have to ask what occurred in your life that got to this place? What took place? What jumped off so crazy that causes you to be in this current position? What happened? And so now some pain. This is good. Some pain came from outside forces. Other pain is self-inflicted. Okay, where are my real people at that can admit to some stuff that, watch this, while some people slipped, others of us jumped. Yeah, it's rare. I rarely do I have someone walk up to me and say, "No, Pastor Mike, no, that was my fault. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, no, Pastor Mike, that was on me. Pastor Mike, I ain't even gonna lie. I got caught up in that situation. Nope, Pastor Mike, that was me. It was the idea that I like big butts and I cannot lie. That was all my fault. I am guilty of it. Pastor Mike, I wasn't paying attention. I slipped." It happened. And so here we go, because I love this verse. I was tripping on this as I was kind of navigating in this message. Hebrews 4 verse 14. Let's take a look at this, because it says, "So then, since we have a great high priest who has entered heaven, Jesus, the Son of God," says, "let us hold firmly to what we believe. This high priest of ours understands our weaknesses, for he faced all of the same testings we do, yet he did not sin." Verse 16 is what I want you to draw your attention to. It says, "So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God. There we receive his mercy, and we will find grace to help us when we need it most." Now watch this. Typically, verse 16, we use that verse of coming boldly before God's throne in the idea of bold prayers, being able to stand on what you believe, having great faith and saying, "God, I'm believing you for a husband. God, I'm believing you for $1 million. God, I'm believing you for a new job. God, I'm believing you for healing." And so we say, "I'm going to come boldly before your throne." Typically means I'm going to say my prayer louder than I was saying beforehand, because God, I'm going to come boldly with this, kicking in the doors, God, believing, naming and claiming, God, this is about to happen in my life. However, the truth of the matter is, with this verse, is simply saying, I'm coming boldly before your throne and letting you know, God, here's where I messed up at. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I failed, that I slipped, that I got caught up in some things. And here's the reason why I can come boldly, is because the previous verse just said, he knows everything that I've been through. He understands what it means to live this life I've lived, and yet he sinned not. So he understands where I kind of find myself in this position. And so because of his grace and mercy, I don't have to shy away from the fact that I messed up. Okay, y'all, I'm preaching better than y'all responded. Let me give it to you like this. It's the idea that Jesus went to the cross so that when we slip, we don't have to be ashamed. Yeah, many of us, okay, watch this. Many of us, when we fall, we try to hide the fact that we fail. I gave this story a couple years ago. It was, and I know when it happened, because it was right after my 40th birthday. Right after my 40th birthday, it's winter time. Many of you know my birthday is in December, so it was winter time. I'm on my way to Dollar Tree. It's early in the morning. They just opened up. And so I go slide by Dollar Tree. The only problem was it had just snowed. Cincinnati, it's, you get 2 good weeks of summer. So it had snowed already, and it's still some black ice out. The snow is melted. However, there's still ice on the ground. And so I roll up in Dollar Tree. And so I get out of the truck. I got to set the stage. I get out the truck on my way to walk up into Dollar Tree because I got a problem. And so now I get out, I take a couple steps, and I slip. Not only did I slip, but I hit the ground. And I mean, it was a full on, my hands were in my pockets because it was cold out. And so there was no brace. There was no shuffling of the feet. It was straight up and straight back down. And so now the issue, watch this, because I got some grown people that understand this. I took my fall, and the number one thing you do when you fall is you look to see who saw you fall. And so now while I was hurt, I had to take a quick look to see if anybody else saw me. And so then I had a chance to bounce up and recover from my wounds. I was in pain for a while. I think I bruised some ribs. I don't know. The story gets bigger every time I tell it. And so, however, we tend to look to see whoever saw us fall before we come to the realization of coming. Watch this. I got to come boldly before the throne. Jesus says, I understand you slipped, but when you going to come back and talk to me? Because most of the times when we slip, we try to hide the fact that I failed. We try to recover before I get a chance to admit what just took place. And so now watch this. When it says come boldly before the throne, biblically is what we call confession. Confession isn't apologizing. Confession is when you say the same thing about you and your behavior that he does. Oh, this is good. And so now, even though I like it, I agree that this is not your best for me. And so I'm confessing to God and say, hey, God, I was a trip this week. God, there were some people that got cussed out. I didn't really, watch this. I was going to say, I didn't mean to cuss. You meant to do it. I just didn't want to do it at that moment. And so God, I want to tell on myself. Watch this. I'm telling on myself before anybody else has a chance to. God, I was a trip this week. I was worrying about some stuff I shouldn't have worried about. I know your word tells me, don't worry about anything, pray about everything. So God, I apologize for the fact that I was tripping this week. And so I'm confessing some stuff because watch this. Once I tell, I can move on with what I need. I say, God, here's where my issues are. Here's where I need you to show up at. And so now this is where you have to understand this, because now John 9 rolls in. They ask, hey, what happened to this man that's blind? Verse 2, the B clause says, was it because of his sins or his parents' sins? Why is he in this predicament? They asked Jesus who sinned, this man or his parents. Jesus told them it was neither. I love how Jesus responds. This is why we're in this Savage series. He says the people assumed it was a generational curse or a lack of faith. But Jesus comes in and sets the record straight by revealing the real reason behind his blindness. Catch this, verse 3 says, it was not because of his sins or his parents' sins. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. This is where you have to be a grown Christian. This is where you got to put your big boy underwear on and your big girl panties, because this is where it gets interesting. The Message translation says, Jesus says you're asking the wrong question. You're looking for someone to blame. There is no such cause effect here. Instead, look for what God can do. Okay. When's the last time you took a debilitating hit from the enemy and you said, let me see how God's going to show up in this? He says, look instead for what God can do. We tend to come here. We tend to fail to learn the lessons God is trying to teach us or cultivate the character God is trying to grow in us. And so because of that, we are so focused on God changing our circumstances that we never allow God to change us. And so instead of 10 or 20 years of experience, we have 1 year of experience repeated 10 or 20 times. Okay, come here, because now we're often so anxious to get out of difficult, painful, challenging situations that we fail to grow through them. We're so fixated on getting out of them that we never get anything out of them. I'm so, God, I need you to deliver me. God, let me free. God, set me out of this. God, this thorn in my side. God, when are you going to take it out of me? And so now we're so focused on trying to get out of it, we never get anything out of it. I never get a chance to grow. And so when I'm so focused on God changing my circumstances, I never get a chance for God to change me. Okay, that's a good place right there. To simply type, God, change me. God, change. It's not my mother, not my father. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. God, I need you to do a work in me. And so now all catch this, all of your prayers shouldn't be get me out prayers. So, sometimes we need to pray, get me through prayers. God, help me navigate this. And then I need the discernment to understand when to pray which one. God, help me to navigate this area. Because if we're being completely honest, most of our prayers have as their chief objective our own personal comfort rather than God's glory. I want to feel better about my situation and myself. God, I'm not so secure, and you getting the glory out of it. And so now we want to pray away every problem, but those short-sighted prayers oftentimes short-circuit God's perfect plan. This is why this becomes so tough, because what if I told you he let you be blind, he let you be broke, he let you be humiliated, he let you be embarrassed, he let you get exposed, he let you become the topic of conversation in the barbershop and in the hairdresser, he let you become trending on social media, he allowed these things to happen. Watch this. He needed it to go public so that when he comes in and turns things around. He said, I'm showing up for a reason. Have you ever considered your blindness? Have you ever considered your loneliness, your singleness, your unhappily marriedness is for his glory? He says, I'm setting you up so I can show up and do what I do best, but you got to stop trying to tie my hands back and let me be God. And so here we go, because it's the idea. I have to stop trying to figure out why I am where I am and figure out how I'm going to get to where I need to be. God, how am I going to navigate this journey, God, so I can get to where you want me to be at? And so what if I told you you're steady fighting people and missing out on the root cause behind it? I love this because it was Pastor Mike Todd. I caught something that he said, and it messed my mind up. He says, your problem is not a punishment, it's a platform for his power. Catch this. Your problem is not a punishment, it's a platform for his power. It wasn't designed to take you out. It was designed to take you in. It's the idea. It wasn't for your death, it was for your life. And here's where I'm tripping on, because you want to know who I blame? I blame, catch this, the makeup industry. Okay, walk with me on this. To all of my makeup artists, the MUAs, whatever y'all initials are, yeah, all y'all MAC professionals, Maybelline, Coverall, all that. And so now I blame the makeup industry. Why is that, Pastor Mike? Because watch this. Many of you know with makeup, of course, many of you use it to doll up, to make you pretty, all the other wonderful stuff. That's great. However, at the same time, makeup is used to cover up imperfections. I'm going somewhere. And so now maybe it's your imperfection that's going to help set somebody else free. Maybe it's you being real. Watch this. When the real you shows up, somebody else can get their breakthrough. What if I told you, because you keep trying to mask what happened to you, somebody else can't get free? It's the idea that you continue to try to cover some stuff. Watch this. It's not the problem that's the problem. It's the fact that you not letting God use the problem. It's the problem. It's the idea. I keep trying to hide it and not trying to share it with somebody else, because what somebody else needs is what you've already been through. Okay, watch this. Many people understand, and myself, Lady Keisha, you know we do a ton of premarital counseling. However, we've never outwardly advertised, say, hey, if you ever want premarital counseling, come talk to us. Right now, we literally juggle at least 3 couples a week trying to get them married, still deal with couples who are post-marital, who never had premarital counseling, so they're wrestling through some stuff. Continue to talk to people and try to encourage, pour into them, showcase our stuff. Pastor Mike, how did y'all get so popular in dealing with premarital counseling? Simply the fact that we talk about the fact of how trash our marriage was when we started out. Yeah, we stumbled through some stuff. We called it on-the-job training. Didn't really know what we were doing. Young, dumb, and in love. Trying to hurry up and have some sex. Aiming somebody. And so now struggled through some stuff. Didn't talk through some things that we should have talked about prior to getting married. And so discovering some stuff along the way that we should have known ahead of time. And so now, with all of that being said, we struggled. It wasn't what I call happy matrimony or holy matrimony. It was just matrimony. We was just there. We were just existing in the same place, but we had to figure out how God can use all of that to help somebody else out. And so now we're helping to put couples on the right position and the right path, because we've given them everything we didn't have to help them become better in who they are right now. So here we go, because watch this. I love this verse, 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. It says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Here's the New Living Translation, the Ghetto Translation. It says, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so the power of Christ can work through me. Okay, right there. This is where you type, my problem is his platform. My problem is his platform. God, whatever it is I'm going through, God, I want you to get the glory out of it. So let my problem be your platform. God, may you be exalted in the middle of it so your name can be lifted up. So now here we go, because Jesus could have ended this conversation with the blind man right here. He could have dealt with this idea of grace, dealt with this idea of him dealing with this blindness, explaining to them that it wasn't him that sinned, it wasn't his parents that sinned. God wants to do some great things with them. He could have ended the conversation right there, but watch what he does. This is where the real savagery comes out. It wasn't in what Jesus said, it was in what Jesus did. Verse 6, it says, then he spit on the ground, made mud with the saliva, and spread the mud over the blind man's eyes. Okay, so come here. My Bible readers understand this is not the first time Jesus heals a blind man. In Matthew, Jesus touched the blind man's eyes and he recovers. In Mark, he simply spoke and the blind man was able to gain his sight. And so now I'm asking, okay, why would Jesus need to spit and use mud to give this blind man sight? Maybe it's the fact that he was blind and couldn't see the process is the reason why Jesus used the process that he used. Because chances are, if he would have been able to see and Jesus was going to spit on the ground in order to give him healing, maybe he would have turned away and said, like, no, I'm good. No, I ain't going to take all that. I'll figure out something else. Maybe it's the fact that if he would have already seen the process, he would have figured out some other way to get whatever he needed. Okay, watch this. Maybe this is the same reason why Jesus doesn't tell us everything in terms of how he's going to get us out of some stuff. Because if he told me what it was going to take for me to get to where I need to get to or where I want to get to, chances are I would have negated the process. I'd have said, no, God, no, I don't know if I really want it all like that, because if I got to go through that to get to there, no, God, I'm straight. And so maybe it was the fact that he was blind and he couldn't see it, that he chose to go this route. And so, but however, I need some people to walk with me and think with your natural mind for a second, because I grew up in a time where if you spit on somebody on sight, it is the idea. Now, and watch it. It's not even if you spit on me. If you fix your mouth to act like you about to spit on me, if we're arguing and a piece of spit comes out, if the little corners of your mouth, if some white stuff starts foaming up, if it's the idea, if there is any inkling or idea that spit is going to protrude out of your mouth, it's a fight bound to happen. Somebody has got to die. That's all I know. Those are the rules by which I was raised under. And so he's watch this. But Pastor Mike, it said that he spit on the ground. That's close enough. That's what I call spit adjacent. It's the idea that he uses this process. And what's crazy about this situation, when you read the text, this blind man doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. He has no reaction to the process. He doesn't even ask for an alternative method. And so now you've got to be so sick and tired of being in your situation that you say, Lord, whatever it takes to get me out of this, God, I'll do it. Okay, this is big, because it's the idea of, okay, what if I told you until the pain of staying the same exceeds the pain of change, you'll always stay stuck. Yeah, until I get to that place of God, I can't do anything else. God, I need you to do something. Then you'll always be in the same situation. And here's where I need you to understand this thing from a logical standpoint, because when you read the text, it says Jesus spits on the ground. And then it says he makes mud out of it. But, where my thinkers at? Because do you know how much spit it takes to make some mud? I need you to think about this for a second. So this means he couldn't have just spit one time and then applied it. He couldn't have done it 2 times and then go through the process. He had to have dug down deep in his throat This has got to be nasal stuff. This has to be an accumulation. And see, I see y'all screwing your faces up online. I see you through the lens. And so it has to be an amalgam of spit that has to be gathered up together for him to make mud out of it. I need you to picture this idea. And so he has to create this process of making mud using all of this spit. And you have to imagine, watch this, while the man was blind, there were people around that could see. So while he can't see what's happening, there's other folks like, you got it, no. People like, no, I'm good. No, I don't know what he about to do, but I ain't about to be a part of this. Jesus steady spitting on the ground, making mud, and he's going through this process. Okay, here's the big piece I got to give you. Don't let the method prevent the miracle. Because while he's going through this process, what if I told you the reason you haven't experienced breakthrough in your life yet is that you don't want it bad enough? Because we get so busy thinking, God, I can't go through that, God, in order to get what I need. And so now we say, well, God, I can't, watch this, I can't be celibate because it's too hard. God, I can't stop smoking because it's too hard. God, I can't stop watching pornography because it's too hard. I can't watch this. God, I can't forgive because it's too hard. And so because we say it's too hard, God's like, I can't do it then, because I got to get you to the place where you stop allowing the method to prevent the miracle. Because God said, I want to take you through a certain process in order to get what I need out of you, but I need you to bypass whatever it is that you're tripping on. Because, in fact, watch this. I'm done talking to all of my dignified, cute people. I need all my radical people to walk with me, because this ain't for everybody, because everybody hasn't gotten sick and tired yet. Not everybody's fed up with their lot in life. Not everybody's trying to do better. But for those of you that recognize that there's more in me than what you see, I dare you to type right there, spit on me, spit on me. And so this is where your bold faith comes in. We say, God, whatever you got to do. God, I need some healing and deliverance out of my life right now. I can't go any further unless you do what you do best. God, I dare you, God. God, spit on me, God, whatever the process is. He says, okay, because watch this, even after he places the stuff on the blind man's eyes, he still don't trip. Yeah, he's like, no, Jesus, you could have found out something. Doesn't say a word, doesn't do anything else that most of us would have done. Here's what I love about Jesus. Jesus loves and is attracted to desperation. Yeah, you look at the woman with the issue of blood, bleeding for 13 years, fight your way through the crowd simply to touch the hem of his garment. Blind Bartimaeus is screaming out for Jesus that is on his way somewhere else. You talk about brothers that are being placed down through the roof, climbing up on trees. Jesus loves those who will go above and beyond to get his attention. What are you willing to do for God to hear your voice? This is a good place for you to shout at your own house. What are you willing to do to get beyond whatever everybody else is getting so that he can show up in your situation? And I love this. Here's where we're in that. Jesus tells him to go wash it off in the pool of Siloam. He says, go wash it off in the pool of Siloam. And Jesus could have just as easily healed the blind man at that spot. He could have said, okay, now that I've placed this mud on your eyes, now be healed. We've seen him speaking into existence. He could have just as easily said, this is where your blessing comes, because let your faith make you whole. He could have went on about his process, healed him at that moment. But he says, I want you to go to the pool of Siloam. Now, mind you, this is simply because I think different. I don't know how he got to the pool if he's already blind. Amen, somebody. So now he tells him to go to the pool of Siloam. And so now, this is the big piece I need you to understand. Obedience activated God's power. Here's the key I need you to get. The healing wasn't in the water. The healing was in the obedience. It was simply the idea of him being willing to say yes. God is more interested in your full obedience than he is in your full understanding. Let me help free you. God doesn't care if you don't like the process. God is not interested in your comfort while he's working on you. Most surgeons, when they do surgery, their job is to give you some type of anesthetic to simply ease the pain while they go in and do the cutting. Jesus says, hey, I'm going to let you take this head on. But I'm not going to let you deal with so much pain that is going to overtake you. Here's where you kind of put some things into perspective. He says, I got you taken care of. I'm going to perform some things in your life. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do the surgery. And I'm going to put you in a position where the things that are making you uncomfortable, I'm going to allow them to make you better. I know you may not understand. I know you may not even agree with it. But he said, hey, once you come up out of this, once the anesthesia wears off, once you get back to yourself, you'll realize and you'll be thankful for what God took you through. This is for everybody who's wrestling with some stuff right now, tripping on some things, trying to figure out what God is up to. Maybe he's in the process of making the mud. Maybe he's in the process of putting it on your eye. Maybe he's in the process of doing some crazy stuff that you don't understand. I stand and attest and walk with you in the idea that everything God does in my life, I ain't got a clue. In fact, there's some stuff God's doing right now that I ain't got a clue why he's doing it. And I'm steady trying to figure it out. And I had to watch this, and I had to get to myself and say, you know what, God, I give up. I stopped trying to get to a full understanding, God. I stopped trying to figure out what you're doing. And God, I just yield to your plan. Because watch this, your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. So God, whatever you want to do, I'm just going to be in full submission to it. If you're watching today and you tripping on some things in your life, God says, I just want you to be in full submission. Full obedience. You've never really given God your full heart. Never able to really say, God, for God I live and for God I die. Trusting him with reckless abandon. Say, God, whatever you tell me to do, God, I'll do. Today is your day to simply say yes. Simply say, God, you know what? I give up. I tap out. God, I'm tired of trying to figure this thing out on my own. I'm going to let you be God. I'm going to let your will be done in my life as it is in heaven. God, let your will be done in my marriage as it is in heaven. God, let your will be done over my children as it is in heaven. God, let your will be done over my finances like it is in heaven. God, let me stop trying to hold stuff up and let me trying to circumvent the plan. God, you do you, simply so I can fall in line with it. So if you're watching today, don't have a church home, never confess Christ as Lord and Savior, simply in a place where you're just hurt and you've been blinded in life, taken so many hits, you can't even focus straight. This is your day to say yes. I dare you to type the word join right there in the comment section. Text it to the number that you see at the bottom of the screen. We want to receive you in to help you regain your sight again. We want to take you to the best person that we know. He's an ophthalmologist. He'll help you regain your vision. We want to help navigate with you on this journey. We don't want you to go this thing by yourself. So type the word join right there. To all my guests, my visitors, hey, I'm so honored that you're here. I love you. I thank God for you. I can't wait to see you in person. The time is coming near. I promise you, it's not that far off. Hold on with us a little bit longer. We'll be able to see each other in person with your I'm going to see you from your nose, from the bridge of your nose on up. Everything else we're going to mask up. But I promise you, the time is drawing close. We'll be back in person. I love and thank God for you. If you're a guest, a visitor, I challenge you, type the word guest in the comments, text it to that number. We want to honor you for being a guest and being a part of our service today. We thank God because of what he's doing in your life, wherever you come from. Lastly, but definitely not least, I want to make sure that you're giving. Hey, hit that give link. We want to make sure you help us do what we do best. And then you've seen in the announcements, we're getting ready to celebrate another year. We're hitting this milestone in our church. We're going to 15 years. They've been trying to kill us off since day one. So we want you to help us celebrate our 15th year. You have an opportunity to do so. We're simply challenging you. Wherever you are, we want you to give something with 15 in it. Give $15, give $150, give $1,500. Where my rich people at? I want you to give $15 million right there. I got some ballers and big shot callers that got $15 million. You got 99 problems, but money ain't one. I want you to sow a seed, plant it in the church, and watch us do some marvelous work in our city, in our neighborhoods. You know what happens when you give. We simply take care of our bills, take care of our staff, put something up, and then we give the rest away. And so we want you to help us do that as we continue to bloom where we're planted at and love on our city. Beloved, I thank God for each and every one of you. I thank God for what he's getting ready to do in your life. Let's get ready to go on this journey together. We're getting ready to celebrate Resurrection Sunday. Let's go ahead and turn this sucker out. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. God bless. So excited to see you once again. It's a brand new day, brand new opportunity, brand new mercies that God is gracing us with. He's my joy in the time of sorrow. He's my hope for tomorrow.